You're driving past a line of parked cars. You notice a ball bouncing out into the road ahead. What should you do? Continue driving at the same speed and sound your horn. Continue driving at the same speed and flash your headlights. Slow down and be prepared to stop for children. Stop and wave the children across to fetch their ball.
Beware of children playing in the street and running out into the road. If a ball bounces out from the pavement, slow down and be prepared to stop. Don't encourage anyone to retrieve it. Other road users may not see your signal, and you might lead a child into a dangerous situation.
You want to put a rear-facing baby seat on the front passenger seat, which is protected by a frontal airbag. What must you do before setting off? Deactivate the airbag. Turn the seat to face sideways. Ask a passenger to hold the baby. Put the child in an adult seatbelt.
It's illegal to fit a rear-facing baby seat into a passenger seat protected by an active frontal airbag. If the airbag activates, it could cause serious injury or even death to the child. You must secure it in a different seat or deactivate the relevant airbag. Follow the manufacturer's advice when fitting a baby seat.
While you're driving, a warning light on your vehicle's instrument panel comes on. What should you do? Continue if the engine sounds all right. Hope that it's just a temporary electrical fault. Deal with the problem when there's more time. Check out the problem quickly and safely.
Make sure you know what the different warning lights mean. An illuminated warning light could mean that your car is unsafe to drive. If you aren't sure about the problem, get a qualified mechanic to check it.
When approaching a right-hand bend, you should keep well to the left. Why is this? To improve your view of the road, to overcome the effect of the road slope, to let faster traffic from behind overtake, to be positioned safely if you skid.
Doing this will give you an earlier view around the bend and enable you to see any hazards sooner. It also reduces the risk of collision with an oncoming vehicle that may have drifted over the centre line while taking the bend.
When may you drive a motor car in this bus lane? Outside its hours of operation. To get to the front of a traffic queue. You may not use it at any time. To overtake slow-moving traffic.
Some bus lanes operate only during peak hours, and other vehicles may use them outside these hours. Make sure you check the sign for the hours of operation before driving in a bus lane.
Which of the following shouldn't be kept in your vehicle? The car dealer's details, the owner's manual, the service record, the vehicle registration document.
Never leave the vehicle registration document inside your car. This document would help a thief to dispose of your car more easily.
Your vehicle has broken down on a motorway. You aren't able to stop on the hard shoulder. What should you do? Switch on your hazard warning lights. Stop following traffic and ask for help. Attempt to repair your vehicle quickly. Stand behind your vehicle to warn others.
If you can't get your vehicle onto the hard shoulder, use your hazard warning lights to warn others. Leave your vehicle only when you can safely get clear of the carriageway. Don't try to repair the vehicle or attempt to place any warning device on the carriageway.
What's the legal minimum depth of tread for car tyres? 1 millimetre, 1.6 millimetres, 2.5 millimetres, 4 millimetres.
Car tyres must have sufficient depth of tread to give them a good grip on the road surface. The legal minimum for cars is 1.6 millimetres. This depth should be across the central 3/4 of the breadth of the tyre and around the entire circumference.
What should you do when you're approaching a bus that's signalling to move away from a bus stop? Get past before it moves. Allow it to pull away, if it's safe to do so. Flash your headlights as you approach. Signal left and wave the bus on.
Try to give way to buses if you can do so safely, especially when the driver signals to pull away from a bus stop. Look out for people getting off the bus or running to catch it, because they may cross the road without looking. Don't accelerate to get past the bus, and don't flash your lights, as this could mislead other road users.
You have third-party insurance. What does this cover? Damage to your vehicle. Fire damage to your vehicle. Flood damage to your vehicle. Damage to other vehicles.
Third-party insurance doesn't cover damage to your own vehicle or injury to yourself. If you have a crash and your vehicle is damaged, you might have to carry out the repairs at your own expense.
Other than direction indicators, how can you give signals to other road users? By using brake lights, by using side lights, by using fog lights, by using interior lights.
Your brake lights will give an indication to traffic behind that you're slowing down. Good anticipation will allow you time to check your mirrors before slowing.
You arrive at the scene of a motorcycle crash. No other vehicle is involved. The rider is unconscious and lying in the middle of the road. What's the first thing you should do at the scene? Move the rider out of the road. Warn other traffic. Clear the road of debris. Give the rider reassurance.
The motorcyclist is in an extremely vulnerable position, exposed to further danger from traffic. Approaching vehicles need advance warning in order to slow down and safely take avoiding action or stop. Don't put yourself or anyone else at risk. Use the hazard warning lights on your vehicle to alert other road users to the danger.
The dual carriageway you're turning right onto has a very narrow central reservation. What should you do? Proceed to the central reservation and wait. Wait until the road is clear in both directions. Stop in the first lane so that other vehicles give way. Emerge slightly to show your intentions.
When the central reservation is narrow, you should treat a dual carriageway as one road. Wait until the road is clear in both directions before emerging to turn right. If you try to treat it as two separate roads and wait in the middle, you're likely to cause an obstruction and possibly a collision.
What's the aim of a smart motorway? To prevent overtaking. To reduce rest stops. To prevent tailgating. To reduce congestion.
Smart motorway schemes are intended to reduce congestion and make journey times more reliable. In these areas, The hard shoulder may be used as a running lane to ease congestion at peak times or in the event of an incident. Variable speed limits are used to help keep the traffic moving and to avoid bunching.
When driving a car fitted with automatic transmission, what would you use kickdown for? Cruise control, quick acceleration, slow braking, fuel economy.
Kick down selects a lower gear, enabling the vehicle to accelerate faster.
What does this motorway sign mean? Change to the lane on your left. Leave the motorway at the next exit. Change to the opposite carriageway. Pull up on the hard shoulder.
Signs sometimes show temporary warnings due to traffic or weather conditions. They may be used to indicate lane closures, temporary speed limits, weather warnings.
What does this motorway? In very hot weather, the road surface can become soft. What will this affect? The suspension, the exhaust emissions, the fuel consumption, the tyre grip.
If the road surface becomes very hot, it can soften. Tyres are unable to grip a soft surface as well as they can a firm, dry one. Take care when cornering and braking.
Some two-way roads are divided into 3 lanes. Why are these particularly dangerous? Traffic in both directions can use the middle lane to overtake. Traffic can travel faster in poor weather conditions. Traffic can overtake on the left. Traffic uses the middle lane for emergencies only.
If you intend to overtake, you must consider that approaching traffic could be planning the same manoeuvre. When you've considered the situation and decided it's safe, indicate your intentions early. This will show the approaching traffic that you intend to pull out.
What does this sign mean? Two-way traffic crosses a one-way road. Traffic approaching you has priority. Two-way traffic straight ahead. Motorway contraflow system ahead.
This sign may be at the end of a dual carriageway or a one-way street. It's there to warn you of oncoming traffic.
Which sign means no stopping?
Stopping where this clearway restriction applies is likely to cause congestion. Allow the traffic to flow by obeying the signs.
What's used to reduce traffic bunching on a motorway? Variable speed limits. Contraflow systems. National speed limits. Lane closures.
Congestion can be reduced by keeping traffic at a constant speed. At busy times, maximum speed limits are displayed on overhead gantries. These can be varied quickly, depending on the amount of traffic. By keeping to a constant speed on busy sections of motorway, overall journey times are normally improved.
You're using a smart motorway. What happens when it's operating? Speed limits above lanes are advisory. The national speed limit will apply. The speed limit is always 30 miles per hour. You must obey the speed limits shown.
When a smart motorway is operating, you must follow the mandatory signs on the gantries above each lane, including the hard shoulder. Variable speed limits help keep the traffic moving and also help to prevent bunching.
You notice horse riders in front. What should you do first? Pull out to the middle of the road. Slow down and be ready to stop. Accelerate around them. Signal right.
Be particularly careful when approaching horse riders. Slow down and be prepared to stop. Always pass wide and slowly, and look out for signals given by the riders. Horses are unpredictable. Always treat them as potential hazards and take great care when passing them.
When should you flash your headlights at other road users? When showing that you're giving way, when showing that you're about to turn, when telling them that you have right of way, when letting them know that you're there.
You should only flash your headlights to warn others of your presence. Don't use them to greet others, show impatience, or give priority to other road users, because they could misunderstand your signal.
You see a horse rider as you approach a roundabout. What should you do if they're signalling right, but keeping well to the left? Proceed as normal. Keep close to them. Cut in front of them. Stay well back.
Allow the horse rider to enter and exit the roundabout in their own time. They may feel safer keeping to the left all the way around the roundabout. Don't get up close behind or alongside them, because that would probably upset the horse and create a dangerous situation.
You're invited to a pub lunch. You know that you'll have to drive in the evening. What's your best course of action? Avoid mixing your alcoholic drinks. Don't drink any alcohol at all. Have some milk before drinking alcohol. Eat a hot meal with your alcoholic drinks.
Alcohol will stay in your body for several hours and may make you unfit to drive later in the day. Drinking during the day will also affect your performance at work or study.
What does the curved arrow on the road mean? Heavy vehicles should take the next road on the left to avoid a weight limit. The road ahead bends to the left. Overtaking traffic should move back to the left. The road ahead has a camber to the left.
In this picture, the road marking shows that overtaking drivers or riders need to return to the left. These markings show the direction drivers must pass hatch markings or solid double white lines. They are also used to show the route that high vehicles should take under low-arched bridges.
What's the shortest overall stopping distance on a dry road at 60 miles per hour? 53 metres, 175 feet, 58 metres, 190 feet, 73 metres, 240 feet, 96 metres, 315 feet.
This distance is the equivalent of 18 car lengths. Try pacing out 73 metres and then look back. It's probably further than you think.
What does this sign mean? Buses turning. Ring road. Mini roundabout. Keep right.
When you see this sign, look out for any direction signs and judge whether you need to signal your intentions. Do this in good time so that other road users approaching the roundabout know what you're planning to do.
When you're overtaking a cyclist, you should leave as much room as you would give to a car. What's the main reason for this? The cyclist might speed up. The cyclist might get off their bike. The cyclist might swerve. The cyclist might have to make a left turn.
Before overtaking, assess the situation. Look well ahead to see whether the cyclist will need to change direction. Be especially aware of a cyclist approaching parked vehicles, as they'll need to alter course. Don't pass too closely or cut in sharply.
What's badly affected if the tyres are underinflated? Braking. Indicating. Changing gear. Parking.
Your tyres are your only contact with the road. To prevent problems with braking and steering, keep your tyres free from defects. They must have sufficient tread depth and be correctly inflated. Correct tyre pressures help reduce the risk of skidding and provide a safer and more comfortable drive or ride.
What's the main hazard shown in this picture? Vehicles turning right. Vehicles doing U-turns. The cyclist crossing the road. Parked cars around the corner.
Look at the picture carefully and try to imagine you're there. The cyclist in this picture appears to be trying to cross the road. You must be able to deal with the unexpected, especially when you're approaching a hazardous junction. Look well ahead to give yourself time to deal with any hazards.
You're waiting to emerge at a junction. Your view is restricted by parked vehicles. What can help you to see traffic on the road you're joining? Looking for traffic behind you. Reflections of traffic in shop windows. Making eye contact with other road users. Checking for traffic in your interior mirror.
You must be completely sure it's safe to emerge. Try to look for traffic through the windows of the parked cars or in the reflections in shop windows. Keep looking in all directions as you slowly edge forwards until you can see it's safe.
What should you do when moving off from behind a parked car? Give a signal after moving off. Check both interior and exterior mirrors. Look around after moving off. Use the exterior mirrors only.
Before moving off, you should use both the interior and exterior mirrors to check that the road is clear. Look around to check the blind spots and, if necessary, give a signal to warn other road users of your intentions.
You're approaching a zebra crossing. Pedestrians are waiting to cross. What should you do? Give way to the elderly and infirm only. Slow down and prepare to stop. Use your headlights to indicate they can cross. Wave at them to cross the road.
As you approach a zebra crossing, look for pedestrians waiting to cross. Where you can see them, slow down and prepare to stop. Be especially careful of children and older people, who may have difficulty judging when it's safe to cross.
What's the reason for the hatched area along the centre of this road? It separates traffic flowing in opposite directions. It marks an area to be used by overtaking motorcyclists. It's a temporary marking to warn of the roadworks. It separates the two sides of the dual carriageway.
Areas of hatched markings, such as these, separate traffic streams that could be a danger to each other. They're often seen on bends or where the road becomes narrow. If the area is bordered by a solid white line, you mustn't enter it except in an emergency.
You're driving on a long journey. What can you do to help prevent tiredness? Eat a large meal before driving. Take regular refreshment breaks. Play loud music in the car. Complete the journey without stopping.
Long-distance driving can be boring. This, coupled with a stuffy, warm vehicle, can make you feel tired and sleepy. Make sure you take rest breaks to help you stay awake and alert. Stop in a safe place before you get to the stage of fighting sleep.
What must you do when entering roadworks where a temporary speed limit is displayed? Obey the speed limit. Obey the limit, but only during rush hour. Ignore the displayed limit. Use your own judgment. The limit is only advisory.
Where there are extra hazards, such as at roadworks, it's often necessary to slow traffic down by imposing a lower speed limit. These speed limits aren't advisory. They must be obeyed.
What speed limit is often found in narrow residential streets? 20 miles per hour, 25 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour.
In some built-up areas, you may find the speed limit reduced to 20 miles per hour. Driving at a slower speed will help give you the time and space to see and deal safely with hazards such as pedestrians and other vulnerable road users.
Why is it dangerous to leave rear fog lights on when they're not needed? They may be confused with brake lights. The bulbs would fail. Electrical systems could be overloaded. Direction indicators may not work properly.
If your rear fog lights are left on when it isn't foggy, the glare they cause makes it difficult for road users behind to know whether you're braking or you've just forgotten to turn off your rear fog lights. This can be a particular problem on wet roads and on motorways. If you leave your rear fog lights on at night, road users behind you are likely to be dazzled, and this could put them at risk.
You have to make a journey in fog. What should you do before you set out? Top up the radiator with antifreeze. Make sure that you have a warning triangle in the vehicle. Make sure that the windows are clean. Check the battery.
If you have to drive in fog, switch your dipped beam headlights on and keep your windscreen clear. You should always be able to pull up within the distance you can see ahead.
In good conditions, what's the typical stopping distance at 70 miles per hour? 53 meters, 175 feet. 60 meters, 197 feet. 73 meters, 240 feet. 96 meters, 315 feet.
Note that this is the typical stopping distance. It will take at least this distance to think, brake, and stop in good conditions. In poor conditions, it will take much longer.
You're driving a slow-moving vehicle on a narrow, winding road. What should you do? Keep well out to stop vehicles overtaking dangerously. Wave following vehicles past you if you think they can overtake quickly. Pull in when you can to let following vehicles overtake. Give a left signal when it's safe for vehicles to overtake you.
If you're driving a slow-moving vehicle along a narrow road, try not to hold up faster traffic. If you see vehicles following behind, pull over in a safe place and let the traffic pass before continuing. Don't wave other traffic past. This could be dangerous if you or they haven't seen any hazard that's hidden from view.
A vehicle pulls out in front of you at a junction. What should you do? Swerve past it and sound your horn. Flash your headlights and drive up close behind. Slow down and be ready to stop. Accelerate past it immediately.
Try to be ready for the unexpected. Plan ahead and learn to anticipate hazards. You'll then give yourself more time to react to any problems that might occur. Be tolerant of other road users who don't behave correctly.
What should you do when approaching this crossing? Prepare to slow down and stop. Stop and wave the pedestrians across. Speed up and pass by quickly. Continue unless the pedestrians step out.
Be courteous and prepare to stop. Don't wave people across, because this could be dangerous if another vehicle is approaching the crossing.
You see a car on the hard shoulder of a motorway with a help pennant displayed. What does this mean? The driver is likely to be a disabled person. The driver is first aid trained. The driver is a foreign visitor. The driver is a rescue patrol officer.
If a disabled driver's vehicle breaks down and they're unable to walk to an emergency phone, they're advised to stay in their car and switch on the hazard warning lights. They may also display a help pennant in their vehicle.
You service your own vehicle. How should you get rid of the old engine oil? Take it to a local authority site. Pour it down a drain. Tip it into a hole in the ground. Put it in your dustbin.
It's illegal to pour engine oil down any drain. Oil is a pollutant and harmful to wildlife. Dispose of it safely at an authorized site.
Where would you see this sign? In the window of a car taking children to school? At the side of the road? At playground areas? On the rear of a school bus or coach?
Vehicles that are used to carry children to and from school will be travelling at busy times of the day. If you're following a vehicle with this sign, be prepared for it to make frequent stops. It might pick up or set down passengers in places other than normal bus stops.
How should a load be carried on your roof rack? Securely fastened with suitable restraints. Loaded towards the rear of the vehicle. Visible in your exterior mirror. Covered with plastic sheeting.
Any load must be securely fastened to the vehicle. The safest way to carry items on the roof is in a specially designed roof box. This will help to keep your luggage secure and dry, and it also has less wind resistance than loads carried exposed on a roof rack.
As a driver, why should you be more careful where trams operate? Because they don't have a horn. Because they can't stop for cars. Because they don't have lights. Because they can't steer to avoid you.
You should take extra care when you first encounter trams. You'll have to get used to dealing with a different traffic system. Be aware that trams can accelerate and travel very quickly, and they can't change direction to avoid obstructions.